Stasia, and I'm an educator here, and today we're going to talk about tornadoes. Have you ever been in a tornado? It can be kind of scary, and they can be very destructive. But what makes a tornado? How does it start? Take a look at this map. This is Tornado Alley. Guess what? That's probably where you live. If you look right here, we've got warm, moist air. So that's warm air coming up from the ocean. But then over here, we've got cold, dry air, and that's coming down from Africa, Alaska, not Africa, and Canada. So when you have that cold, dry air hitting that warm, moist air, they start to brawl. They start to fight, and it gets pretty turbulent. And you can actually see that on a Doppler weather radar. So this red dot here with all the lines, that's where our radar is located. And this radar was able to pick up a tornado. Do you think you can spot where it is? It's in this hook right there. So that's how we know a tornado is developing, when we can see that hook on a radio. On a radar. You might be familiar with this experiment too. This kind of demonstrates what a tornado looks like using gravity and air pressure. So we're gonna flip it upside down and spin it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let's see if we can get a good tornado. Nice. So we've got that air pressure coming up and gravity pushing the water down, and those two collisions create that swirl of a tornado that we see in nature. Nice.
That's so mesmerizing.
I have to go to the bathroom now. Hey, Emily, what day is it? Is it the 11th?
It's the 11th.
It's the 11th. So today is the anniversary of two major tornadoes that hit Lubbock in the 70s. This is a really cool document forged by Dr. Fujita, who actually created the Fujita scale as well. So this is Loop 289 here in Lubbock, and this is the path of the first tornado. Someone spotted it around 8 p.m. And guess what? There was also hail the size of grapefruits. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that coming down?
Can you show us how big a size of a grapefruit is, just in case we haven't seen one before?
Whoa! Like this big.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
That's terrifying. So it started here, it hit the 1 mile mark, then the 2 mile mark at the loop, and it kept going. Fortunately, this first tornado was not super destructive. It hit parts of Lubbock that weren't quite developed yet, but this second tornado was much worse. It landed just outside of TTU around Jones Stadium and actually pulled some of their lampposts down. And you can see it kind of wound all over the place. It ripped through downtown. It was a mess. And how many people passed away?
26 people passed away.
26 people.
Mm-hmm.
Some reports show more, but I think that's the official record. So down here, Mr. Fujita, he actually created a scale, and this one was used at the time, and it kind of helps us categorize tornadoes based on how destructive they are, and it uses how fast they go. So you'll see miles per hour. But after 2007, we started using the enhanced scale. So the one in this tornado in the 70s we're talking about was used on the original scale. And if I believe correctly, I think it was one of the first tornadoes actually documented using this scale. And today we've got some really interesting photos documenting that time, as well as other destructive tornadoes around the world. And Miss Emily's gonna show us some of them. What do we have?
So we do have quite a few photos out here that demonstrate just what some tornadoes look like. The ones that are over in this direction are actually tornadoes from different areas, or actually from this area, but not from this massive tornado that had hit 50 years ago. So we actually have this news clipping. It's actually the head of the newspaper, and you can see that it is from 1970. It says Tuesday evening, May 12th, 1970. This was the day after Reconnect. The day after the tornado. So wacky. Sorry, I had some connection issues and I wasn't sure if I was cutting out. So we'll start with this crazy tall building. This is actually a building that is still standing in downtown Lubbock, and there are some portions that you can actually tell where it hit. As far as I know, I think there is a section on the building right now, about right here-ish. It has a darker color of brick. So that might be from a different tornado or from other constructions, but look at all of this damage that this tornado did. This is from the one from 1970. It knocked out all the windows. All those powerful, powerful winds decided to take out all these windows, which is a little scary. If you've ever been in a tornado, I've heard that it sounds like a train is barreling towards you. It can be pretty scary. But you can actually find some really cool safe spots. So with all these houses, you can see that some of the structures are actually torn apart, but you can see that some of it's still standing. So the best way to find a safe spot in your house is to find the most central portion of the building. So you don't want to be by any windows because that would really injure you. You want to find either a closet or a basement, and that'll keep you the most safe in the situation of a tornado. So here are some other images of some tornadoes. They're so massive. Look at all that wind. And I believe this one is Lubbock because this looks like a building that we actually have around here. I believe it's First Methodist Church. But that's crazy. Right around over this way is where Texas Tech is. And so you can see how it would have gone all the way around here. It's so big. And I actually like this image a lot because it shows the exact time that the clock broke whenever the tornado hit it. So this is from 1970, and whenever the tornado blasted through, it actually broke the clock and stopped the clock right at the exact time. And so all these little spots right here, you can see all the debris that ran into it. It's pretty crazy. I think we have enough time to check out all these last ones. So this is from a tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri, which is not super close to here, but it's still around the tornado alley. And so this is a giant sign. Let's see if I can get all our reflections out. Hello. So there is this big old sign. It almost looks like a big McDonald's sign or something. So it's an old restaurant that its sign fell down. This is actually in Lubbock as well. So you can see how a really strong windstorm tore out this section of the brick wall, and it kind of did it in a really pretty pattern. And that one's from 1980. This is a tornado in Australia. So tornadoes actually have different sizes and different shapes. So sometimes you won't really see the funnel for a little bit if it's a tiny little funnel. Here's from Plainview, so pretty close to here. Not exactly sure what year, but you can see that this is a metal frame for a building. So it's pretty crazy. This is from another wind event. It's kind of hard to tell, but that is a tree. This tree was completely uprooted by a wind event in 1973. So here's all its roots. It's completely on its side, and there's a man, a full-grown man, right next to it. And so you can just tell how big this tree was whenever it fell. So massive. Can anybody guess what this is? It's a light pole. This light pole was bent out of shape by the really, really strong winds. And for our last image, this was in Florida. There was a wind event in Florida in 1992. And so this is actually taken from an airport. You can see this airplane's intact still, but this airplane kind of got a little torn up. You can actually see the wheels, so it's upside down for one of those planes. So these winds are so strong they can flip totally different stuff. So like buildings, planes, it can just tear lots of things to shreds. So that is all the time, the time that we have for today. So thank you so much for checking out our tornado talks for today, and we'll give you more updates about upcoming events. Stay tuned.